Hi everybody, and welcome to the video. This is video 3 of 3 in the Pentax 6x7 series, and it's only number 3 because I only have the metering prism. If at some point in the future, though I don't expect to ever get any of the other prisms, but if I do, I'll absolutely do a video on those, and those will be videos 4 of 3 and 5 of 3 and so on. As well as any other interesting stuff I get for the 67 system, though I don't expect that I will get that much more. At any rate, this is the metering prism, and I'm going to take the lens off first before I do anything with this. And now, for the first time in any of these videos, you're going to get to see what the camera actually looks like. And here's the Pentax 6x7 camera. It's really very light without the metering prism and lens. There we go. Does not look like any camera you've ever seen in all well, you've probably seen cameras like this, but there aren't that many of them out there that have removable prisms and things like that. So this is the actual metering prism, and it's an attachment, and you can see in there, oops, you can see in there how looking through the prism you can see what's off camera right now. And there are 2 locks on the side here. Those lock into here. And then there are 3 contacts. The metering prism runs off of the camera's 6LR44 battery. It does not have its own onboard battery. The camera's battery is needed even without the metering prism because the battery operates the shutter and mirror functions, or at least the shutter, but I believe it operates the whole mechanism. And so it's needed for that. You can see here's this ring that attaches to the shutter dial. This came with the metering prism, and then it just fits over the shutter dial to allow easier shutter speed changes. The metering prism uses a cadmium sulfide sensor in the prism housing itself to perform average metering, which is it takes all of the light coming through the viewfinder and averages it as though that light were an 18% gray card, and then properly exposes that way. It measures exposure values 2.5 to 19 on the standard f 105mm lens. That's equivalent to f2.5 to f22 at 100 ISO film, using 100 ISO film. This can meter ISOs 12 through 3200. So it's kind of a limited range. The exposure value range is a little bit limited, and the ISO range that it's capable of metering is also limited compared to newer cameras. That said, at the time that this came out, that was better than many cameras could do. The metering prism itself has a 100% viewfinder coverage with a diopter of -1, which reduces the image size slightly. Let's see, the meter, you operate the meter by using the on-off switch here. Turn it on by flipping it up so that you turn it on by flipping it down so that the little lever points towards the orange down, and then it will meter for 25 seconds. If you don't need to meter within that range after 5 or 10 seconds, you just turn it off to help save the battery a little bit. Let's put this back on the camera real quickly. Worst case scenario is getting a thumbprint on the bottom of that prism. You might have heard it just click in place. That clicking sound is how you know that it's affixed to the camera properly. Oh, I have to take it back off again. So we're going to go through the manual. Yes, the metering prism actually does come with a manual. So if you have it, let's grab those manuals. And I have the actual original, which is pretty cool. And you can see it's got everything labeled here. So we're just going to go in the order of the manual, basically. So we talked about the switch. That's item number 1. And the switch turns it on or off, depending on which way you adjust it. Item number 2 is the light window. And I believe that the light window is used to provide internal lighting for the light meter. Next we have the shutter speed dial over here, and you can control the shutter speed by turning that or by turning this. You get a better grip with this big ring on it. We have the lock pins on the sides, These are the lock pins that click into place here to lock the prism into place. Next, we've got the diaphragm coupling pin up here. On the top, there's a pin there, and then there's a chain here that connects the diaphragm to the meter, and that allows the meter to know what the diaphragm on the aperture on the lens is set at, so that it can compensate the meter reading and let you know if you're still within a proper meter reading. And when using this TTL meter, you'll want to keep your lens in automatic mode in order to get correct meter readings. Now that said, you also need to put the meter on before your lens. If you put the lens on first and then the meter and the meter pin will not align with the chain, and you won't be able to get automatic readings. You'll have to meter only in manual. And if you do that by accident, I have another video specifically on that up here, but all you have to do is take off the lens, take off the meter, put the meter back on, and then put the lens back on, and it will work. If it doesn't work, then you've got bigger problems. But you can see that video from the other video for more details. On the back, we've got the viewfinder window. We're up to item number 7 now, and it has an unscrewable cover here, which is good because it protects the viewfinder window itself from fingerprints and dust and things like that. And this is just very basic glass, so you can clean this very easily and with a little bit less caution than you would for a lens, focusing screen, prism, whatever. There were various things that could screw in here instead as part of the system. You could have magnifiers, diopter corrections for prescription glasses, lenses, and things like that. Then we have the meter window, and the meter window is inside. You probably can't see it, but there's a small little window at the bottom of the viewfinder. Let's see if we can turn it a little bit to get better lighting. Yeah, there's no way I can really light that well enough. There's a small window at the bottom of the viewfinder, and that's where the meter indicator is housed. The back has these 2 electric coupling pins, and this is what provides the power to the metering prism from the camera's battery. If there is only one thing I dislike about my camera, it's that there's no warning light when I'm 30 seconds away from the end of the video recording time. So apologize for this jerky cut. But at any rate, so as I showed you, as I mentioned earlier in one of the previous videos, there's this pin here, retractable pin. And I said you can control the shutter speed from this. You can. I recommend actually not doing it. You don't want to put too much stress on this pin. But this pin lines up with this hole in the shutter speed dial. So we're going to mount the. Oops, I have already done this incorrectly. We're going to unmount the lens. There we go, and that resets the position of the coupling chain. If you heard that click, that was the click of both of these at the same time locking into place. I'm going to remount the lens to protect the element from me accidentally bumping it. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate, actually we're going to rotate this until the pin locks into place. And you hear a little click and then it stops rotating, and that's how you know that the pin is in place. Now you can adjust the shutter speed with this thicker dial that came with the metering prism down here and read the shutter speed up on top of the metering prism. And this concludes our series on the Pentax 6x7. So, as I say at the end of all of my videos, if this video was helpful, please give me a thumbs up. That lets me know I'm on the right track. You can also subscribe down below if you would like to see more photography-related videos. And if you have any comments, leave them for me in the comments section, or questions. I'm pretty good about responding within, well, pretty quickly as I can. And if you have any suggestions, by all means, I will be more than happy to film a video using one of your suggestions if I have the equipment and technical knowledge to do that. One last thing, thank you guys for watching.